Welcome to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax. Except you, that person driving. Sit up and keep your eyes on the road. Your ears, though, can still listen as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
I'm me, Rob. Let's talk about these great wide receivers.
Oh, we got a whole bunch of wide receivers. They are so wide and they are so receiving. Wait, whoa. Oh, wow. Wait, that didn't come out right.
They're going to go deep and wide.
Oh, yeah.
To catch the ball.
So deep.
And wide. Open.
So we've been going over a lot of the first round talent for you guys here in the wide receivers the last couple of episodes there. And let's be honest, it's not a lock that we take a wide receiver in the first round. But I think it's a pretty big lock we're going to take a wide receiver in this draft overall. So we're going to go over with you guys here the top 20 wide receivers. So we had 20. We got a lot of info, a lot of stuff for you guys here. We didn't use ChatGPT or anything, too. We did this homework ourselves. That's like the new thing now. Everybody's using this ChatGPT. This is what ChatGPT says. And it's funny. I'm telling you this, guys, right now. If anybody sees a video doing any sports content whatsoever using that, run. Because I actually looked it up, and it says that it's only loaded with information up to 2021. So do not get your draft advice from ChatGPT.
Yeah, it would not be a good move.
No, yes. I think Jamal Chase is going to be the best one ever possible. I think it's the one you should go for. Go for that wide receiver. Jamar Chase.
Definitely draft number one.
All righty, guys. So I don't know if John's in the chat here, but he's been asking for weeks for us to go ahead and go ahead and talk about Mingo mania. So if he's not in yet and he asks later, we're to tell him we already talked about him and he missed it. As Deb shines in with, do you think there's anything to the Diggs rumors? Deb, there's nothing to it whatsoever. He's not coming.
They were just playing with each other.
Yeah. We can't afford him even if Wanda came here, so we ain't getting him.
Also, Buffalo's going to have a $45 million dead cap if they get rid of him.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of people run with these rumors when they hear it, and they don't want to give you the honest answer because, let's be honest, it's a much better show to go, oh, can we get him? How can we do it? What do we give up for him?
Yeah.
Well, we have to pay him, as opposed to saying, we can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Can't do it. So there's plenty of channels out there that do everything for the likes and the views and all that to kind of claim there is a way. There's no way. We won't be those people.
Yeah.
But we do have some actual NFL news to go ahead and give you guys here. So let's go ahead and start off with...
It's time for the news.
It sounds like delete when that does. Does that always sound like delete? Delete. That's ChatGPT trying to get back at us for talking bad about it.
Yeah. I'll show you my AI intelligence.
You should not mess with my mainframe.
Yeah.
As Connor says, I'm going to tell John S. Anderson Jr. Don't tell him, Connor. Don't tell him. Don't ruin the joke.
You're going to ruin it.
First thing in Giants news, Isaiah Hodgins and Paris Campbell, we talked about how they were working out together in Arizona. And Hodgins was actually recruiting Campbell over there in Arizona before he signed. They said they'd love to have Daniel Jones come in and practice with them as well. Well, guess what? Daniel Jones came, and he brought a lot of backup. They swarmed the place with Giants in Arizona. So not only did Daniel Jones came, but so did Tyrod Taylor. So did Saquon. For those that are worried about Saquon and how happy he is on the tag, Saquon came. That means something. I don't care what anybody says. That means something.
And he came with DJ, the guy that messed up his contract.
Yeah. Shep came, which is good to see Shep actually be able to practice. Lawrence Cager showed up. David Sills, Quinten Johnston, and Makai Polk, who, remember, guys, last year we got him very end of the year, undrafted rookie free agent, split time with us and the Ravens. He's on one of those reserved future deals. But I like that a guy like that showed up. The one thing that does concern me is, where's Darren Waller?
Is he
going to Daniel Bellinger?
Were they not invited?
Connor says they all came. LOL. Umbrellas, everybody. It's not that kind of. It's Arizona.
he wasn't talking about that kind of.
I know, but no one gets that excited to go to Arizona. Is what I'm getting at. That's Nevada where that happens. Ask Jimmy G.
Yeah.
But like I said,
I was thinking to the ranch.
I like that they're practicing together. I like that they're getting together. They're doing this on their own. Obviously, coaches, team can't be involved because of the Players Association rules with the off season. So, kudos to everybody that did show up. And they bad look. People that didn't show up. Looking at you, Darren Wall. Looking at you, Daniel Bellinger. Where are you guys? Where's our tight ends? Where's your tight ends?
They're in the rear.
Oh, they're in the rear. All right. Let's see here. As my dad chimes in with, if you were fighting for a spot on the roster, you would show up too. Yeah, that's true. I get it, but I still like the fact that a guy who probably isn't going to make them roster even showed up.
I mean,
I still like that.
We all know Barkley's going to play. He showed up. Same with DJ.
Yeah.
He's going to play.
Listen, like I said, I'm more shocked that Saquon was there than anything else. I'm glad to see that a guy that people were worried about him sitting out potentially this offseason is there practicing with his teammates. And obviously, when mini camps and all come around, he might have a totally different tune because those are actual Giants practices, not just players. We're talking about practice here. We're talking about practice.
Just a practice.
But still, I like seeing that. I like it. I don't know. I just call me crazy. I like when the guys all get together.
It's camaraderie. Like
it is, but it's also like an upper hand, especially when you got guys like Paris Campbell coming in, who may not be as familiar with this type of offense and this system, the lingo, all that kind of stuff. Everybody else has been there now the second year. They can teach them this stuff as they go. As Connor says, will Saquon fake an injury because he didn't get paid? I listen. I don't think Saquon will. Let's be very frank. If Saquon gets injured, it's because he actually got injured. That's more likely to happen. He does get injured quite often. not to hope that upon him. I want him healthy. I want him strong, and I want him going for all year long, going for another 1,000-yard plus, if not a 2,000 complete. With the receiving yards like he did his rookie year. But like I said, he's a guy who tends to get hurt. It is what it is.
Look at
if he gets hurt, it's not because of the contract. That's him getting butt hurt. This is him actually getting hurt.
Yeah, I mean, 2 out of the 5 years that he played for the Giants, he was injured. And then he looked like his 4th year, like he came back from an injury and played like
he was back. Back in the New York groove.
Yeah.
As Ben chimes in, Brian Daboll has definitely set the tone and changed the culture of this franchise so far. You know what it is? I'm going to say it this way. It's not that he changed the culture. He brought back the culture. Because this was a team that has a very big, history and a very big source of pride. And unfortunately, the last 10 years, hasn't been there. So good to see it back again. So we do got also for you guys here a little bit of tidbits here on some NFL news before we get into the wide receivers here.
Here with Ron Burgundy.
Stay classy, San Diego. So speaking of staying classy, the Cardinals have been accused of cheating. Cheaters never prosper, which makes sense if you look at the Cardinals record. So former executive Terry McDonough claims to have a burner phone that the team gave him to contact GM Steve Keim when he was actually during a 5-week suspension after a DUI. This is going back to the prior regime with Steve Wilkes that year he was there as a head coach. That's how far back the story is. Cardinals obviously denied the charges. I'm going to call WTF on the fact that the guy waited till he was gone from the Cardinals to say something. Like I said, it's been years since this happened, guys.
Yeah, it's
this, and I guarantee you this happens pretty much every single time somebody is, on suspension. Pretty much every time.
Yeah.
So yeah. I would say it's probably a non-story, but except for the fact that if the NFL is showing proof, they're going to have to go ahead and find the Cardinals a draft pick or something. So something to keep an eye on there. Also, the Raiders added former Patriot Danny Amendola to their staff in their quest to become the new New England. The new New England. That's what
New England.
The new New England. New England West. That's anybody who's involved with the Patriots is basically getting onto the Raiders. That's the way it is. Also, we have potentially the end of an actual legacy here. John Elway's contract ended with the Broncos, and he is walking away from the franchise entirely. Not in a bad way. That sounds bad saying he's walking away.
Yeah, I was about to say.
He's in his 60s. He wants to go out and enjoy his life. So, go for it, man. I mean, that guy, he got them 2 rings as a quarterback. He got him another ring as an executive. So all 3 rings they have are Elway. How many Super Bowls did he get him to as well? On top of that, they lost. I mean, the guy was the best Bronco ever. And, when he wants to end it, he wants to end it. That's all there is to it. So we still said to be around for occasional advice and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
let him ride out on his Bronco.
Exactly. So we got a couple more comments here. Connor says, I honestly thought Saquon was going to be a 2,000-yard rusher. Still hasn't. Well, his rookie year, keep in mind, he did have a 2,000-yard season between rushes and receiving yards. I don't think he'll ever be a 2,000-yard rusher, to be very frank with you. I don't think you'll really see that in the NFL very often at all. It's just not the game anymore. You don't run enough to do that.
Well, that and look, they use multiple backs too.
Yeah. Well, the Giants don't. They need to.
Yeah.
They need to. Well, we talked about that before. They need to get somebody else they trust. It's Ben chimes in with New Vegas Patriots. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but we're trying to combine the names. Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots.
It sounds like a weird version of tater tots.
Yeah.
Like,
can you air fry them?
I love me some. You know what they have here? Okay, so this is a little Florida thing. I'll give you guys.
It's Gator.
We have Gators, yes, but we also have everything. As I'm wearing a Canada shirt today, actually, there's a lot of Canadian people here in Florida. I was in Canada, so there's a lot of Canadian people here in Florida,
in Canada,
and they have fried cheese curds. They do. Oh my God, is it so good? And there's this place right next to where I work that they sell those. They also sell tater tots. So I've been trying to convince them to make a new product that's half a bowl of tater tots, half a bowl of fried cheese curds. Because that'd be freaking spectacular. And you know what I may just do? I may just go ahead and buy one of each and just pop them together myself to prove my point.
Walk it in. Here you go.
There you go. As Chris comes in, and we don't have the O-line also. Yes, we don't have an O-line still. We got to figure out the whole interior offensive line. That's going to be, I think, a last-minute adjustment, to be honest. I think they're going to get either draft guys or somebody off the streets that gets cut after the draft. Connor says, guys cheat. It's allowed. LOL. Actually, more women cheat nowadays. Let's get back to being men and cheat. Just be smarter about. What's Connor? I feel like we're opening up. I feel like we're opening up like into your soul and into your real life here, Connor. I'm not sure what happened there. So Connor Wallace feels bad. If Mrs. Wallace is listening, he feels bad about whatever he did.
It's okay. He loves you.
I hope you feel better, Connor. I think you got that off your chest. All righty. So, guys, like I said, we're going to go into the top 20 wide receivers in this draft for you guys. Now, you may say, who decided to the top 20? Well, we did, goddammit. So,
we wanted to.
Yeah, exactly. If you disagree on the rankings, there's this lovely little box under your video that you're watching, or to the right of it, depending on where you're watching and how you're watching, that you can tell us that you disagree. I want to hear it if you guys disagree. I want to hear you guys' thoughts as well. I want this to be something that's decided together here for to a certain degree. To a certain degree. Yes. So we start off with number 20. And Rob, would you like to take this one first, or should I go first?
Oh, you can butcher his name first.
I had a feeling you're going to say that specifically because of the name. I thought that specifically because of the name. Let's see. So we got Andrei Iosivas Out of Princeton. See, I got it. There we go. 6'3", 200 pounds. We talked about this guy before, actually, in our latest mock draft we did. A lot of the guys in the chat seem to like him, so we actually picked him purely based on that. You guys got us into him. So we went ahead and looked at him. And so 6'3", like I said, 200 pounds, and all-American track star. So the guy's fast.
Yeah.
But what he's not is shifty. When you watch tape on him, he depends purely on speed and nothing as far as the moves. He ran a very limited route tree. That's not to say he can't develop one later on, but it's a very limited route tree overall. And he played, obviously, against very weak opponents because he played at Princeton. Not exactly known for, it's all-star, football players and all here. So he'll need time to develop if anybody gets him there. And need time to teach him a route tree, teach him better route running overall. I got him at like a 4th and 5th round kind of guy, though. But I think he's a decent late round guy if you can let him sit for a year or two and learn the game better and see how well he takes the coaching.
Yeah, because he obviously was he's a track star. That's obvious.
You can't teach speed.
You can't. So he has the talent he has a skill set that he can learn for the NFL because he's a body catcher. He doesn't have a wide zone. He kind of gets lost when you go downfield on plays. So, but that's all stuff you could teach. He beats out guys, and then once his route's done, he's kind of just trotting around, kind of lost.
Exactly. So, real quick before we get to your next one, Rob, we got a couple comments here from Chris. He says, if Parrish somehow falls to 25, how would you feel about taking him and kicking Neal to guard? I'm going to say against it just because the fact that we drafted the guy 7th overall. You got to give him another year to see what he does. Now, if he doesn't do good this year, next year might be a different conversation. But for right now, at least, I want to keep him at tackle. But that can obviously change. He says, tackle, Ohio State. That's who Parrish was. He was talking about a minute ago. We also have John S. Anderson Jr. Mingo time.
Mingo. We already talked about him.
Sorry, John. We already talked about him.
Yeah,
you missed it. You were late. You were late to the party. You missed the whole thing. Yeah. We talked about him. We talked about him for 10 minutes because of you. Because of you.
And you weren't here, bud.
You weren't here. It's we said some some very glowing things, some very not glowing things. It was as in-depth of a look as a receiver you can possibly get. I'm just gonna say that right now, John.
High five.
No, I just feel bad. John, you're good. We're gonna get to him, don't you worry.
Yeah.
You may not like where he goes, though, but we're going to get to him.
Yeah.
All right. Rob, you're up next to number 19.
19. Puka Nacua. BYU. So he's a senior, 6'2", 201 pounds. His wingspan's not that impressive, and his hand's 9.5 inches. So pretty nice over there. He's a pretty athletic guy when it comes out there, but he's also kind of lacking a little bit of that switch and the speed when he's out there. So he's got a basketball background, so he knows how to kind of run around, jump up, get the ball.
Knocks people out.
Yeah, he knocks people out. Mama said knock you out. Yeah.
I'm going to knock you out. Mama said knock you
out.
Yeah.
He gains late catch spaces. He gets physical, which is nice.
Let's get physical.
But like I said, one of his biggest things, he lacks that acceleration for separation. Off the gate. Which is the big thing. Can't teach speed.
No, you can't. And you mentioned the contested catches and the blocking like that. It's something he's excellent at. One thing I want to note on him that I don't hear many people ever talk about when they talk about potential draft pick. He's a damn good run blocker. For a wide receiver to excel at that says you care about all aspects of the game.
Yeah. You understand it, you get it.
Yeah, exactly. It's bigger than just running down the field and going for it. So
let's just go.
So what kind of round do you got at him? What kind of pick you thinking?
Probably about the same, 5th round. Give or take.
Okay. I'll go a little early. I think 4th for him. I think 4th. I actually like him. I liked watching his tape. I really thought that he's somebody who is going to have a very low ceiling. Don't get me wrong. He'll never be, I don't think, a starter. but I think he'll be a good bit player for somebody as like a fourth wide receiver kind of guy. I really think that he's got that kind of role, and he's got to carve it out and have a decent career. So
yeah, probably decent. Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He won't be a star. He's not going to be a starter or even, but he's going to have a career. So
the next is Xavier Hutchinson.
Number 18, Nathaniel Tank Dell out of Houston. And I got to say, if there was ever a false nickname ever given to a player, it's to Nathaniel Tank Dell, who you'll often see just called Tank Dell. That's how popular a nickname it is for him.
Yeah.
I've never seen a tank that is 5'8" and 165 pounds. That is not a tank. That's a bicycle.
I mean, that also goes into our draft class. Is like what we got to draft.
It's a lot of smaller guys out there. That's for sure. But yeah, so we have, like I said, he's a very, very tiny guy. So you got that scares me. Comes from a very small school in Houston, so that scares me as well. He's explosive as hell, though. Really good returner. I think that's where he's going to probably make his mark in this league, if he's going to make it somewhere as a bottom level receiver, but a guy who's good in the return game. Touchdown machine in college. This guy found the end zone like you would not believe. Really good route runner as well. Good at comebacks, curls, just way too small hands, way too small a catch radius for me. And has some drops as a result, because when your arm's going to go out like T-Rex's and you have little tiny hands, it's kind of difficult to make the moves that you need to make to go ahead and catch the ball. I see him as like a fourth round guy, though, but I do think, again, I think it's going to be because of his special teams and his return ability that he may, get himself a space in this league, as my dad asks about him, because is he a Sproles type? And I would say no, because Sproles, I think, at least had enough to be in the pass game as a third down back as well, that he carved a spot in the offense as well. I really don't see them doing much in the offense because of the size. He's going to have trouble against the press like you wouldn't believe because of that size. He's going to have trouble catching the ball because of those tiny little hands. But you let him catch the punt, which you naturally catch against your body, and you give him the open space, he's going to make some guys, make some mistakes here.
Yeah. I mean, he was really good with Sproles, kind of the same thing. Like, he's very shifty.
Yeah.
A little bit. So he's got a lot of explosiveness. Yeah. He's got a lot of explosiveness off his moves. Like, when he's, doing his little juke, do a little dance. Yeah. Make a little love. He's a little fast.
Return the punt. Yeah. Return the punt. Yeah, I mean,
he also dropped 21 passes over the past few years, which is something that, you don't want to see in a player. He wastes a lot of time in motion, under the press.
Probably trying to avoid getting hit because he's so tiny.
Yeah, well, that's the next
one good hit and he's done.
Slender frame, yeah. So
I have a leg that weighs more than him. Too.
Yeah, pretty much. The kickstand. But he did, like, you did bring it up too. He scored 14 touchdowns in the 9 final games with Houston. So, like,
touchdown.
He's got the room to go around, and I do.
Smells that end zone. Is that an end zone? Is that an end zone?
I smell it. Bring it in. All right. But yeah, he's probably a fourth rounder guy.
We do have a couple comments here. So my dad says Parrish will be long gone by our pick, and I think so as well, because not a lot of decent tackles. But John says, no way you guys talk about boobs before that or sing turn around. Turn around.
Every now and then.
Every now and then John falls apart. Things we talked about, Mingo. As my dad says, if his name doesn't fit in the jersey, don't draft him. I'm assuming that's because of the Princeton guy, because that's going to be a long name there, but that'll fit. But
underneath you got to put the phonetic spelling too for everyone.
John says, good one. How do you guys feel about these guys who have big king hair that covers their jersey name? Who's that guy? No idea his name is covered. Listen, Troy Polamalu was one of the best of his generation. He had it that way, as he clarifies, long hair, not king hair. Listen, I like calling it king hair. It's okay. You can call it that. It's very royal. But yeah, I think I have no problem with that. I don't see the big issue, honestly. As long as you can see the number, that's all that matters. If you don't know the name of the jersey and the number, you're not a fan of the team anyway. So, Leonard Williams, just saying, when he puts his hair down, covers up. So, all righty. So, on to our next guy there. Rob, you're up next with number 17.
17. We got a nice, easy one for you guys. Ronnie Bell. Right?
I didn't spell that one phonetically either.
No. Bell. So you can have like a ponytail and still cover off that bell in the back. Yeah. So once again, another guy that's not that big, bigger than these other guys we've been talking about. He's 6 foot, 191 pounds, and 9.5-inch hands, and he's coming out of Michigan. He was good when he came back from his ACL tear back 2 years ago. 2021, he had it. He's very intense, very competitive. He's shot the tape. He made well-timed catches and leaps, but he might need to work on some scheme on the coverage.
Yeah.
He looks like he's scared of coverage.
You know what I think about him? I think he's a guy who the ceiling on him, I think, is going to be third receiver for a team. He's a very dependable guy. He's a guy that was expected to do almost nothing in Michigan. He literally went there as a 3-star prospect. He wasn't the top prospect kind of guy. Barely was able to get into a school like Michigan and became their leading wide receiver right away. This is a guy that pretty much it's been stacked against him, and he keeps on coming back up. There's something about that kind of mental fortitude that I like. So I like the guy.
Yeah.
What kind of draft you got him?
4th round.
See, I'm going to say 4th, 5th, but I think he should be a 4th. I just think he's going to be overlooked. I really do. I think someone's going to pick him up late in this draft here, and get a steal for where he's going to end up getting drafted, because I think he's better than his draft status is going to show. Like I said, I just can't. I love it. Like I said, when there's a guy who's every single year there's something that's against him, and he finds a way to come through and just do it anyway. I really just like that. He's a winner, chicken dinner. All right. So we got number 16, Sweet 16, Rakim Jarrett out of Maryland, 6 foot, 200 pounds, 5-star recruit coming out of high school. So this was the opposite of Bell. This was the guy who came out with tons of expectations. It was actually a surprise for Maryland to get him because of how high of a status he was as a recruit coming out of high school. But he never really, I feel like, got his full potential of what he should have been able to get at Maryland. Now, the question comes into be is, was it partially because of the talent he had around him? Or was it because of the fact that he just wasn't as good as people thought? Because we could talk about the talent around him, but he was also playing against weaker talent as well. So that works both ways. Had a very disappointing 22 when everybody thought he would take a big leap at that point as a final year. Great acceleration, though. Has a track background. Another guy like that's got that track background. So he's a speedy guy. Play the slot and play outside. So he's got some versatility. He's had some trouble, though, with even slightly contested catches. So if he's wide open and lets to go ahead and catch the ball, he's going to catch it every single time. If you even put one hand on him, he's going to drop it. Just based on what I've seen, that's what I kept seeing on tape over and over again there. I do think, though, that someone's going to hope they can coach him out of that, and he's going to be a round 3 target because of that. I'm really hoping it's not the Giants, though.
Yeah,
because I it's a 50-50, and if you can't catch when somebody's right next to you, that's a problem. In the NFL, you're going to have someone right next to you. You may have got away with that in Maryland. You're not going to get away with that at the NFL. Not going to.
Like you said, someone's around him. Like, he drops a lot of balls. It's a big concern. He drifts out of slants as well. But, I mean, he's a fast, quick guy off the acceleration. He can move over. And he could get some separation from man coverage. But he needs to catch the ball. So, yeah, not that big of a fan.
All righty. John, are you listening? Are you watching? As we lost Rob for a brief second. There he is. Like, where'd Rob go?
Peekaboo.
It's your turn to go up next here. as we go with number 15. Number 15. John, this one's for you.
Yeah, John, actually, we should pop you on here. You can tell us all about it. Mr. Jonathan Mingo. Mississippi.
Ole Miss.
Ole Mississippi.
Eli's alma mater.
Yeah. Senior year, 6'2", 220 pounds, one of the bigger guys in this wide receiver class coming out of the draft. He's got a good reach. He's got a 10 3/8 hand, which is
big hands for that reach round.
Hands.
What hoof? What?
You know to say about big hands. Big gloves.
Feet?
Big gloves, big feet.
Big feet. Usually big feet as well. You know what they say about big feet?
Big socks.
Big shoes, yes.
Yeah. You know to say about big shoes. Big dong.
John's probably like, God damn it, guys. Start talking about the player.
Yeah, well, he's so muscular and big, which is nice.
So muscular.
It's easy to see that, he recognizes his craft and it shows that he's good at it. He's got etiquette footwork, to slip press, finds speed and quickly continues to play at speed, which is nice.
As John chimes in with 15, way too low. Time to find new podcasts.
So what's also nice is because he works back aggressively to his throw. So if it's another thrown ball or it was a misread, he comes back and he gets the ball. I just don't know how high the ceiling is on this guy.
So here's my biggest concern, and you and I talked about this before we even started this program here. And John, this is why he's number 15, why he's way too low. He has a chance to easily recover from that in my mind. I cannot tell you how many times I watched footage of him and he had the chance to take the extra 5-6 yards and didn't take it because he was afraid of taking the hit that he'd have to take afterwards. He limited his hits. And I get it. It's a business decision because you want the NFL contract. But if that transfers over to the NFL, that's an issue. We should also mention his brother, because his brother is Barkevious Mingo, the 9-year NFL linebacker, who was originally a 6th overall pick as well of the Cleveland Browns. Kind of a bust, but 9 years in the league, still a decent career, but not what you expect out of a 6th overall pick, that's for sure. Who would have thought the Browns would go ahead and mess it up? As John says, saving it for the NFL, baby. Listen, he can save for the NFL all he wants, but I need to see it when I'm watching tape. I saw him going outside and going out of bounds. I saw him when he could have gone ahead and had 5-6 yards extra and would have gotten hit in the open field though eventually. And instead he went right into the guy that was next to him instead to avoid the big hit. So I don't want the guy who's not going to go for every goddamn yard he can get his hands on. That's important. But if we can break him of that habit, I'd gladly take him.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Just
decent ceiling. Decent ceiling if we get him right. But he's got a decent floor if he can't.
Yes. That's a good way to put it.
So what round you got him at?
Late 3rd, early 4th.
Okay. See, I got him as a 3rd overall. So John, now you know who your favorite is amongst the two of us. All righty. So number 14, Jayden Reed, Michigan State. Another little smaller guy there, 5'11", so under 6 foot, just barely. 191 pounds, mostly a slot receiver. Played at Weston, Michigan for a year before going over to Michigan State. Very good returner. Production dipped some in the last year, though. Versatile, even rushes the ball sometimes, like jet sweeps and all, which is good to see. Very good at the yak. So he's a guy that will take that open field, unlike Mingo, John, and will go ahead and get the extra yards. Very good with body control. Very small catch radius, though. He didn't come in with the biggest hands, the longest arms there. So the biggest issue I saw with him on film is when he was in zone, he did very well. When you put him in press coverage, he had issues. He had issues getting off that first couple yards, and they're popping him. So if we could work on that and get that going, he could be a pretty decent receiver, though. So I got a 3rd round grade on him.
Yeah, I have to agree with what I said.
We don't have to.
I do agree with you this time. He accelerates his top speed. Like, he gets out really fast. He gets his top speed and cranks out and dies out at that. He's a big competitor, right? And he's big guy from Ohio State. Clever hands and positioning to help carve out separations and catch, which is nice to see. He gets a lot of those over the back throws, which is nice to see. High percentage of his career catches were contested, though, which is something you gotta look out for. He doesn't always finish his routes either.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that's about.
That's why he's number 14.
Yeah. So late third round, early fourth.
Yeah. All righty. Number 13.
Trey Palmer.
There you go. You got another easy name. You got another easy name.
Cool. I like the way he did this. Okay. So from Nebraska, senior. He's 6 foot, 192. We're starting to talk about some bigger receivers here, which is nice. Not the biggest, but
yeah, they're getting bigger as we go.
Yeah,
kind of like prom night.
Ooh, hey now. So he's fun fact: he set the Nebraska single state record with 237 receiving yards against Purdue.
Yeah,
which is that's awesome to see.
Yeah.
In high school, he actually won some kind of award, a Spirit Award for his separation. He shows good fight and battle against clingy press coverage, which is the first time we're talking about. What kind of
separation was it? The separation of church and state, or?
I mean, he's from LA, isn't he?
I don't know. I didn't know where he was from, to be honest with you. But I mean, it's weird to see a wide receiver out of Nebraska, though. That's not a usual spot, that's for sure.
No.
That's usually where you get your running backs, your occasional quarterback, more like defensive guys and stuff like that you get from there. I mean, hell, even Scott Frost, who was their head coach until recently, was a great quarterback of theirs, and they tried to convert him to safety in the NFL. It just tells you what kind of offensive weapons Nebraska has had.
Yeah.
Nebraska.
I mean,
the Cornhuskers.
Cornhuskers. But also, he's got the same problems of a lot of these other guys that we were talking about. He drifts off and late into his route. He gets a little scared when he hears the footsteps run up behind him when he's about to get hit, and he can drop the ball or not just make the catch.
Here's one thing we should mention, though, with him. He has the fastest 40 time at the combine at the wide receiver position, 4.33. He's speedy.
Yeah.
You can't teach that. Speedy. Very fast. Speedy. We talked about some guys that we talked about that are going to come even after him that are like 4.5 guys, which sounds crazy. 0.2 of a second, but it
goes a long way.
It's like I said, it's gonna be interesting guy there to see. He's gonna need some work. What kind of grade you got on him?
Third round.
Same here. Third round. As my dad says, are all these wide receivers capable of playing on the outside and not the slot? Some are specifically slot, and some are going to play on both. So, part of the issue you run into when you watch these guys in college is, like we talked about, JSN, obviously, in the last episode, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, he played primarily in the slot at Ohio State. I fully well think he can and will play outside in the NFL. So part of it is people that you see playing slot, are they playing because of the, that's just where they put them in college, or are they playing that's where they have to go? You got a guy like, Tank Dell, obviously. He's probably going to be put in the slot because he's so tiny that you put him on the outside with the strong man corner kind of guy, he's going to be screwed. Absolutely screwed. All righty. So next up, number 12, Rashee Rice, SMU, 6'1", 204 pounds. So we got somebody with some weight on him finally.
Someone finally over 200.
Yeah, I think it's like him and Mingo are the only two that have been so far over 200 pounds there. Jarrett was just added, but Nacua was 210. So I mean, it's like there hasn't been a lot of bigger wide receivers in this draft here coming out. The guy is great at the jump ball. He's that guy that you're going to throw up in the end zone. He's going to go up and get it. He's probably going to beat the corner to get it. He's that good as far as that part. So he's got good vertical. He's got good 10-yard speed as well. Got ability to yak. The biggest issues with him are two things. One, he obviously didn't play at a very big school. Two, ball security whatsoever. So he's got drop issues, but he also got fumble issues as well. Like I've seen a couple of times you saw watching film, he's getting that ball punched right out from him at that point. So he's going to need some coaching, I think. He's going to need some learn better on ball security, but I think he's got some potential. I see him like a late second, early third round kind of guy.
Yeah. Kind of piggyback off what you said. He's a good blend of size, length, and speed. So he's got the length to get out there. He's got the vertical. So
we're blending.
We're blending.
I think of that Adam Sandler movie. I love that movie with Terry Crews. We're blending.
White Chicks?
No, that was
that was the Marlon Brothers.
What was that one with him and Drew Barrymore where they went off to Africa?
Oh, I didn't see it.
I cannot remember the name. Good movie though. I'm at the watch.
Oh wait, I did see it. Like,
I think it's called Blended. Actually, I didn't think about it. I think it's called Blended. I think it's the name of it.
But yeah, he lacks commitment to detail on the route as a route runner, which it's
kind of
dropped
important.
A couple balls. Yeah. But yeah, I see him one of the first drafts in the third round. Depending on needs of certain teams, I could see him going late in the second, but it's probably an early third rounder.
Let's see here. We've got a couple comments from John. He's still a little salty about Mingo. Says JSN can't be that till you make a huge catch like the Diva Man OB. Wait, he can be an outside. He can do it. And he also says you don't see that in New Jersey. Blended dummy. Wait, I'm confused now, John. I'm confused. Clarify. Let us know later. On to the next one. Number 11.
Cedric Tillman.
So I gave you another easy one.
I know. I love this. It's
all
fantastic.
Hip hop anonymous.
You give the damn kid all the easy ones. He's from Tennessee. Yeah, he's a senior.
Tennessee.
Okay.
Tennessee.
Maybe the biggest receiver we've talked about thus far. 213 pounds and 6'3".
Oh, as my dad's chiming in. I got to say, my dad has been watching a lot of Tennessee games. He's a big fan of Hooker. I think he probably would have preferred if we drafted him and didn't even keep DJ. So he says, big with big hands and decent speed. He was Hendon Hooker's go-to guy for 21, but was hurt in 22. Yeah, he's Go for it, Rob.
Yeah.
I want to steal your thunder.
I was about to say 10-inch hand.
Lightning and the thunder. It's a
It's
very musical episode. I don't know why.
Yeah. So he posted 17 catches for 352 yards and 2 touchdowns in games against Alabama and Georgia in 2021. Just like your old man was saying, he comes from NFL bloodline, so there's been it's in his blood, if you will. See that bloodlines. Proven toughness.
Was it part of like a vaccine or something? What was it in the bloodline?
He plays. He's got good body control. He's focuses downfield, and he's got really good ball skills. Really good hander.
I'm not going to say it this time. I'm not going to say it.
It's a goofball podcast. He can handle it. But he also lacks off. Just like your dad was saying, he lacks off the sudden takeoffs and consistently.
Yeah, no, he's definitely had separation issues when you watch the tape. Sometimes he gets separation, sometimes he doesn't. If he does get it, he's going to get the ball. But if he doesn't, he's basically useless.
Yeah. So I mean, that's something you could coach up.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So, but a good contested catch guy, good as far as for touchdowns, good for the end zone. Where do you got him overall? What do you think he's going to get drafted?
He's going to go in the second round.
So I got him late second, maybe even early third potential.
I got him a little higher than that. Probably like mid second.
Yeah. Let's see. What is? Well, we got another John here coming in with Rhino was banging the other Rhino. You don't see that in New Jersey. Funny you saying about blending that didn't know the name of the movie was Blended. Listen, leave me alone. It's been a rough day, John. There's still a lot of work in the yard earlier today. I'm in Florida. It was warm.
He's got heat stroke going on.
I had to have a lot of drinks. We are halfway done, guys. On to number 10. Tyler Scott out of Cincinnati, 5'11", 171 pounds. Another little, tiny little guy that you don't want to
He's
break.
a wee guy.
What you with the receiver? With the receiver? But blazing speed, a true deep threat. Good vision in the open field as well. What was interesting, if you watch a lot of tape on him, there was a time where basically a lot of the corners against him would give him a ton of cushion, knowing they had to account for the speed difference because the guys he faced 9 times out of 10, he was faster than. And what he did is he changed up his game, and he became very good at the quick routes, the 5-yard hooks, that kind of stuff, to go ahead and combat that. So what does that say? Coachable, has a brain, those kind of things. I like that. But he's had some drop issues mostly because of how he tries to catch the ball. He tries to catch it off his chest instead of trusting his hands. So I think, again, if he is coachable, and that's where that move came as far as changing what he was doing as far as the quick routes and all, then hopefully that's coachable as well. I got a late 2nd round, early 3rd round grade on him.
Gotcha. I mean, if you didn't bring up that he was a junior Olympic sprinter.
I'm sorry. I was trying to go. We have 20 people to go over, Rob. I can't give you everything. He enjoys Cheerios in the morning with sliced up bananas, okay?
This is true. 10 of his 14 career touchdowns went for 30-plus yards. So, he's a fast guy. He's also a junior, so he also has time to build up and eat some of that beefcake to get a little bit bigger for the NFL if he doesn't go this year. But he's going to go probably somewhere in the 2nd round. Like you said, he has the necessity to drop the ball or not catch the ball because he's a body catcher. He doesn't trust his hands, which is something you can work on.
The body snatcher, just to be clear on that. He's not from a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, body catcher, not snatcher.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the body snatch. Or what? Anyway,
it's totally different. It's not.
Yeah. And another thing, because of his speed, sometimes he drifts in his route. He's not quite the fastest on the turn. But
like Tokyo Drift or
he's slowly into the turn. Yeah, well, actually, if anything, he would be the Cincinnati Drift.
The Cincinnati Drift. They're known for their racing.
Yeah.
But they're racing to get out of Cincinnati because people would realize they're in Ohio.
And they're terrible drivers up there.
I've never even been to the state of Ohio. It's one of the states I have not been to yet.
I was in Mason, Ohio, and the people freaked out about dusting in November, the dusting of snow. I was like, oh. It's like everyone in my car I'm driving.
Yeah.
There's a foot at home.
Yeah, I would say that must be South Ohio, I'm guessing, because North Ohio gets that flake effect snow. They get the legit stuff there.
Yeah, it's in between Dayton and Cincinnati, Mason, Ohio.
Okay, so yes, that's South then.
Yeah, I flew out of Cincinnati and flew into Dayton.
All righty.
Anyway, yeah, he's going in the 2nd round.
All righty. On to number 8, which is probably one of the more interesting people in this entire draft. Not even just the wide receiver position, but literally the entire draft.
Yeah.
I know. I just totally built it up for you. You have no choice but give it excellent news and excellent information on this guy now. See what I did?
Xavier Hutchinson. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, Xavier Hutchinson. He's from Ohio State. He's a Jacksonville, Florida guy, so true. He's right up your alley eating gators. 203 pounds, 6'2". Senior year. He's consistently improved over the course of every year of his college career. He's got foot quickness, capable of release versus press. He flashes bursts and sudden route changes, which is nice. He's got the ability to sink his hips in, so it's just get off the corners. Get nice and deep.
Ooh, deep.
He uses his size to find additional yards too. He's 5 for those yaks.
Yakety yak.
Don't talk back. But he only had one touchdown against the Big 12.
Here's what I really think is the most interesting thing about Xavier Hutchinson. It's part of why I like this guy so much. Ohio State was a run offense. They've been a run offense basically since the dawn of time. It's always what they've been. This guy comes out, and all of a sudden they start passing the ball because of how good he is. When you are so good that a team changes the entire offense to better suit your needs,
it says something.
That says something. So I'm a pretty big fan of him for that regard. Plus, he's 6'2". He's pretty tall.
Yeah, especially for this class.
Especially for this class. You kidding me? Imagine him standing next to Tank Dell, like Muggsy Bogues next to Yao Ming.
I was going to say Patrick Ewing back in the day.
So, what kind of grade do you get on him?
I'm giving him like a B- overall. I think he's going to go in the second round.
Okay,
another mid-second round guy.
Yeah, I got second, third. I got a lot of second, third kind of guys though. See, here's the thing: every single draft, there's this run on that position where all of a sudden, like 5 receivers flash and go out of nowhere. So it's all a matter of does that happen in the second or the third round of this draft? Because it's going to happen, and when it does, it's probably going to be because this next guy goes and people start getting worried, and that run starts happening there. So number 8, Kayshon Boutte. LSU.
Okay.
Oh, yes. 6 foot, 190 pounds. And there's a story here about a man not named Brady. But let's get into his play first. Incredible athlete. This may be one of the most athletically gifted people at this position in this entire draft. Very hard to bring down. Very fast. Good at creating separation. Off-script capabilities. In other words, let's say Daniel Jones is being run at by a defensive end or an edge rusher, and he has to get out of the pocket. This is the guy who's able to go off script and move and get to where he's got to get to give him an option. He's shown that on film. That's something you can't teach. Missed pretty much all of 21 with an ankle injury. Ankle never quite seemed right this year. This is where the issues begin now, because if you take this guy, you have to trust your medical staff has checked him out in his medical records, and you're okay with taking him because of that. Because that's a big key to this thing. You're literally drafting a guy who's had an injury issue if you get him. Now here comes the really weird part. So originally he said he was going to play at LSU again next year because, like I said, he didn't have as good a year this year because of the issues with his ankle still. And then all of a sudden he reversed course. Nobody would say why. Then the rumor started. Apparently he got in trouble at a sex party, they called it. I'm not even sure what a sex party is per se. Is this like an orgy he went to? Does a swing?
Pretty much.
Like what is a sex party? Like how do you dress for a sex party? Just get naked?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a big orgy you went to. Okay. I guess I saw that on like a sex party. Like what the hell?
You can leave your socks and yarmulke on. Some people don't like that.
Socks and your yarmulke.
Yeah.
It's time to celebrate Hanukkah.
It is Passover.
Omar get a harmonica. That's the second Adam Sandler reference this episode already. All right, so apparently something happened. He was going to get booted off the team at this sex party, but this is all speculation, online rumors right now. Nobody has addressed the rumors in any way, shape, or form. Even his head coach was asked about and refused to even talk about it. And he was listed as unavailable before the bowl game. So nobody knows fully what happened there. So again, if you're going to draft this guy, you better have one heck of a record of his medical stuff to know what's going on there and get a chance to look at him. You better also have a private eye that finds out exactly what happened to this orgy fest, which would be funny. Could you imagine being a private eye giving a report on what happened at an orgy fest? Well, see, there was
you're describing it.
The fist went in, the fist went out.
Yeah. There's 2 fists, and then the guy tells me, like, hold on, I'm gonna stop. I'm getting hard.
There was these 3 people in the wheelbarrow position. How do you report it? This is a private eye guy.
And they were doing the jackhammer. Yeah.
Well, let me just tell you, the guy with the mustache was not too picky.
He savored all that flavor.
But yeah, anyway,
yeah.
I got this guy as, again, round 2, round 3 kind of guy, but he's so hard to judge because if he's healthy and his medical is good, if all the private eye, the investigations turn up nothing major at that point there, because my biggest concerns, all kidding aside, we talk about issues at a sex party, was there any like rape or anything to that extent there? I don't know. So I want to judge either way. As much as I joke around about the private investigator, because I do still want to read that report whenever that comes out. But like I said, I think that there's a potential for some serious issue for the team to have said, he's not going to play in the bowl, and then he leaves because he's afraid he's going to get kicked off the team. So I think there's more we don't know. If that is what happened. So assuming he's healthy, assuming he's not going to go to jail or anything like that, and not a horrible person, just a sex addict or something. I don't know. I don't judge people if you're a sex addict. Round 2 or 3 is what I got on him. But honestly, I'd lean much more towards the end of the second round.
Yeah, I would say mid-second round. You pretty much nailed it on the head. Like, he's a good blend of size and strength.
Not the only one nailed the head.
Apparently, allegedly.
Bazinga.
He's great at, getting the yak yards. He's good at, if he's not downfield catching the ball, he's good at the short passes and then going vertical and getting the yards after the play.
He goes vertical, he goes horizontal, he goes on his back.
Listen, he takes any way he can get it, apparently. He's also a body catcher. Not snatcher, catcher again. Yes. He's another guy you're not going to get the range around. He's just in. He just wants the balls in him, not around him.
Should have known we'd have too much fun with this one when we said I mentioned a sex party.
Yeah. Whoopsie. But yeah, I think he's probably going to get drafted by the Raiders in the mid to late.
Oh my God! Round. Could you imagine? He starts going to all the bunny ranches with Jimmy G.
Yeah, listen, they could have a great time, and it's all legal out there.
It's all legal. It's all legal. It's okay.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
All righty. Okay. On to number 7. Lucky number 7.
Oh yeah, lucky number 7.
That's big if he was lucky number 11, which is a great movie.
Actually, pretty good.
It was a damn good movie.
Yeah. Josh,
if you get Morgan Freeman and Ben Kingsley together in a movie, it's going to be good no matter what. You throw in Bruce Willis and Josh Hartnett, done.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
John comes up with Bunny Ranch. When we going, guys? Listen, John.
As soon as the podcast is off.
I can't go to the Bunny Ranch. I'm a taken man. Okay, I'm a taken man. I can't.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, buddy.
No, it doesn't.
Jackie, if you're listening, I'm sorry for saying that. He's not going.
Oh my.
But yes, Josh Downs. I thought about trying to mispronounce down for this one. Dewins.
Dewins.
Yeah.
You get all the easy ones. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
I mean, the next one you have is as a hotel named after him. So I mean,
he's out of North.
John says, "Listen to Roberto. He is right. You guys are a bad influence." I'm telling my wife.
I'm going to call her right now.
Yeah.
He's out of North Carolina. He's a junior, so he's still a small guy. He just like you said, Drew, a little wee man. 171 pounds, 5'9". And his hand reach is 9 1/4. But he's also extremely confident. He's had outstanding production over the past 2 years, which is showing through his confidence. He appears to have both quickness and long speed, which is good. He creates tempo change as he's running, which is fantastic. Separation burst through space and cuts and turns, which is what you like to see out of there. Excellent footwork, but he's below average. But he's below average in his build. Like, he's a small dude.
He is. I mean, again, 180 pounds. I mean, tiny.
I mean, I saw him on ESPN at 171. So
he's shifty as all hell, though.
Yeah,
that's the one thing about him though, is he is shifty.
But if he gets some press coverage, like
now John says you're a cheater. He says someone's whipped. Cheat before they cheat. LOL. Just don't get caught. Be smart like Roberto. He's insinuating you cheat now. We're not cheaters, John. We're not cheaters.
No.
Yeah. Once you get good ones, you don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I think the only issue with him that I saw really on film was just the fact that he has trouble getting released off those press cover guys, and you're seeing that much more in the NFL. But he's really, like I said, really shifty. Going to be, I think, a really good punt returner for somebody too as well, which adds that value. What kind of rating you got on him? What do you think he's going to go?
He's probably still a second rounder.
Yeah, that's what I have for him too as well. He's my first guy that I have is definitely going to be gone by the end of the second round. Like I said, we have a run that's going to happen right at that second, third, but he's the first guy that I have outside of that run that's going to go just because someone's going to need a receiver and he's going to be there and he's going to be the best player on their board.
Yeah.
All righty. So we got number 6, Marvin Mims Jr., Oklahoma. Oklahoma, where the wide receivers get drafted. 5'11", 177 pounds, moves around the field. I mean, I've seen him coming out of the backfield. I've seen him in slot. I've seen him on the outside. Uses very quick routes typically to give him the ability to hit the open field because the guy is a yak beast, absolute yak beast. We talked about Downs with that, with how shifty he is. This guy is the king of shift. So he is another guy. Is going to be probably a very good returner for somebody as well, potentially. Very good at the deep ball. Again, another guy is going to have issues with press, and I keep on getting back to the fact that we have all these tiny receivers. So of course they're all going to be having trouble with that. But I think if he's somebody that can get around that, also fix sometimes the issues he has with catches, because every so often I'll see him go to catch the ball and go to make his move before he finishes the catch, which is something you do see with some people. But I do think he's going to be a second round talent. And I think even early to mid second round, even I think he's going to be that kind of good.
Yeah. I mean, he averaged in his college career 19.5 yards per catch, which is fantastic. Fantastic goal. But once again, another small guy. But
the tiny little guys.
But the run after the catch ability is something. He's smart with his run. He's fast with his run. He locks in and focuses and tracks down deep throws too, which is nice.
I wonder if the NFL saved money this year when they had to travel all the wide receivers over to the combine because they can get a smaller bus because they're so tiny.
Put an extra seat in the
we don't need the big bus, guys. Get the short bus today.
Put an extra seat in the middle. You're right. Like economy bus.
Does anybody have a booster seat for Tank Dell, please?
Yeah.
Just sit in a damn telephone book. They don't make this anymore.
I can't see over, guys.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, also another thing too is a lot of his catches, he was just wide open. So yeah, the press coverage is a big thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd say. But he will go because they're going to try to teach a team will try to teach him how to deal with press better. And yeah, he's going to be another early to mid round second rounder.
Yep. No, definitely. All righty. You are on with number 5. We're in the top 5, guys. We're in the top 5, 3/4 of the way there. Oh,
we already talked about our top 4.
Way there.
Yeah. Oh, Jalin Hyatt. Can't see Bon Jovi. Little BJ at night, huh?
The second of the Tennessee receivers.
Yeah. He's a junior this year, 6 foot. Another wee guy, 176 pounds, with a hand size of 9 inches.
Oh, yes. 9 inches.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But he's another small guy, shifty, speedy. And
he's a slot guy. We talked about positions before. He's a slot guy.
Yeah, he's a slot guy. And he also, he just rockets past coverage. So,
yes.
He's one of the guys that's not worried about.
If he was a Guardian of the Galaxy, he'd be Rocket Raccoon.
About the same size.
He's taller.
A little bit.
Same weight, but taller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes he gets off scheme a little bit, but he can knock off, of course, like a smidge with if he's getting like touched or hit. Like, I think he's going to find a home in the NFL, and he's probably going to go, depending on the needs of the teams, early second round, late first.
Yeah,
but I think early second.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be. I think someone's going to fall in love with this kid. I really do, because he's a one-trick pony, but it's a hell of a good truck. Hell of a good truck. I really think that he's going to be, because somebody's going to want that speedy guy who can just throw the 9 around, kind of like a better version of Slayton. And that's what he has the potential to be.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be interesting. I think he's a guy that I could see potentially going in the early second. I can see him going in the late first. Neither one of them would be a surprise to me. Neither one of them would be. We got a comment from John here. They're getting away from all the tall receivers, getting to speedy, elusive receivers. If OBJ was younger, Kadarius Toney wasn't fragile. Can you imagine those two on the same team? Oh my God, can you imagine the issues that you'd be having with those two headaches in the same exact roster? I'm sorry. I would want nothing to do with that whatsoever, John. Amazing talent, both those guys. But you're talking like those are two guys that have tons of issues. Just headaches, personalities, all that kind of stuff together. I mean, you have OBJ, kicking the net the other side while, Tony's breaking another hamstring on his own somehow randomly just by stepping. I'm good. So now we break into our top 4. As he says, take out the issues, it'd be scary. Yeah, sure. And if the queen had balls, she'd be the king. I mean, it is what it is. Like, it's part of it, okay? Like, it's part of the equation there. So we got our top 4 now. We've already gone over these top 4 guys in depth for you guys the last 2 episodes. So if you guys want to hear about those 4, simply go to the tape. Go to the previous episodes. The last episode we had Jaxon Smith-Njigba going against Jordan Addison. We had the one before that was Zay Flowers going against Quinten Johnston. So we had, those 4 guys in depth there for you guys. So we're just going to quickly run down the top 4 here. Number 4, I had Quinten Johnston, who I think is going to be a guy who, again, we talked about him before on the show, highest ceiling in this draft, but also has a very low floor. He's not a safe pick. He's a boom or bust kind of pick. And I do think someone's going to fall in love with his abilities, and he's going to be drafted early on. But they may regret that, or they may say this is the best draft pick we've had in years. Either one could happen. Number 3,
Jordan Addison. This is probably your safe pick guy.
Safest pick.
Like, he's got a very, very high floor. I don't think he's going to fall from grace going into the NFL. But his ceiling on him isn't that high. We broke down in the last episode why we think he's good, why he's, what it is. But he's the number 3.
Number 2.
This is where we
Zay Flowers. I have. Oh, we disagree here. So
we do.
I have
we'll talk about it in this order.
No, okay. No, you know what? I'll do my first 2, and then you do your first 2. Then.
Well, there's only 2 guys left in this class, so I think it's quite obvious.
Let's do it this way then. Okay, I have Zay Flowers 2. I have Jaxon Smith-Njigba number 1. You have the reverse then.
Yep, I like Zay Flowers a lot. I like what he's got. He is a small guy. I like the dedication he brings to the table. I mean, JSN is also a very talented guy, and I wouldn't be mad with either one of these guys becoming a Giant. But
see, and I can get around to Flowers being the number 1 if I had the medical info I need to make that final decision, because that's the only thing that scares me with Jaxon Smith-Njigba is I need to see JSN's medical files to know if he's going to be healthy. And this is not going to be a long-standing, Kadarius Toney kind of issue with the hamstring issues. Hamstrings do take a while to get over, but
especially during the season, because like it's one of those things that it could feel better, and then as soon as you start running, you re-aggravate it, and it's another 2 to 4 weeks, and then you just keep doing that.
Exactly. But I mean, I saw him going against Joey Porter Jr. and destroying him. I saw the 360 some odd yard performance at the Rose Bowl.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying
I can't pass up a talent like that. And I like Zay Flowers, but the only reason I didn't have him as number one is because where he played. He didn't go against the same kind of talent that the SEC guys and the guys in these bigger conferences went for. Even you can talk about the talent that Ohio State, Michigan, some of the schools we're talking about here go against on a regular basis. Boston College was playing against like Maine. I mean, it's not the same.
They were wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome. You parked the car by the harbor.
Yeah.
We got a couple more comments here. As my dad says, it's scary for the team psychiatrist. Yes, that's psychologist. He's definitely not wrong there. That's for damn sure. John says, good one, LOL, the queen with balls. Damn, dude, she's not even dead that long, LOL. Listen, it's not always the queen of England. There's a queen somewhere else, I'm sure. I don't know. I don't keep track of this. It's been a phrase I've said for years. I'm not going to stop it now because one queen died. My dad says, JSN is by far and away the best receiver in this draft class if he's healthy. And my dad brings up a good point. Do we really want to draft another Flowers?
Hey, it's a different type of flowers.
It's a different flower. A rose by any other name would smell just as bad.
We'll go with tulips this time. An orchid.
Zay tulips.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm good either one because if the Giants hypothetically are available to get any of the big four receivers, they're going to jump at it as they should, I think. Personally, we'll see. I think Zay's the one most likely the one to be there later on, which is interesting because you got him number one, I got him number two, and he's probably going to be the fourth one taken. This is where I think you and I definitely disagree with some of the draft experts. But yeah, I mean,
what do we know? We're just a bunch of goofballs.
Yeah, exactly. We're goofballs. My dad says Flowers may be the best route runner. He is. He's at least when healthy. Because I think JSN, that's part of his abilities really is what he does as far as his route running. He's just so crisp in it, the way he just changes movement. He does a little bit of fakes when he need be to go ahead and move the corner off of him. Like I said, I can't say enough good things about him. John says, will it be O-line first or wide receiver? I'll say I think the two spots you're going to have taken. If I had to pick by position, because yes, what Rob said is 100% right. Take the best player available. Hell, I even saw a mock draft with us taking Nolan from Georgia. You got a great player available that slips down. You get the chance to take him. Sometimes you got to take him. But I think if I had to pick by position, it's going to be corner or wide receiver, I think. Because I think it's the two big ones. We're good on tackles. We need interior offensive linemen. And there's not really one that I look at and go, oh, my God, this is a can't-miss prospect at center or at guard. There's guys that I'd like to have, don't get me wrong, on a roster I think are better than what we do have. But I think CB and wide receiver is going to be where we're going to go. And I think that makes sense for us to go to next is our CBs. As we got also now Chris with CB and my dad with saying could be a CB taken first. And yeah, like I said, I think
who's available.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's what we're going to run through next for you guys is the corners that will be taken. So we do the same exact thing we did basically with the wide receivers. We'll give you a battle of the top corners. It'll be a little longer this time because there's more first round talent corners than there are as far as wide receivers. And then we'll do the same thing. We'll go over the top 20 with the final episode on the corners. Then we'll move on to interior offensive linemen. Obviously, we're going to go ahead and change that up if anything major news-wise happens, though, for the Giants as well. So keep track on that. But we got a couple more weeks to go, guys, before the actual draft hits. Remember, when the draft happens, that Thursday and Friday night, we're going to be on here live the entire first 3 rounds. We're going to be on, not even just when the Giants are picking. We're going to be on the whole damn time, okay? Buckle your seatbelts. Bring a bucket underneath you to have to go to the bathroom in. Like, we're going to be ready to go the entire time. Yeah, it's like I said, it's going to be a fun ride, guys. And we got a lot of other content creators we've talked to as well. They're going to be coming on here, including a good amount of ones that we've had on here in the past couple of months as well. So some returning faces that you guys gave us some good feedback on and they liked having on here. So we want to invite them back on again. Have one big show. We're able to have up to 10 people on this show at once based on the program we use. So I'm all for filling up all 10 spots even if we want. So like I said, guys, keep an eye out because we're going to give you guys more and more draft news, more and more Giant news, more and more NFL news as things do progress here. Oh, yes. And thank you very much, guys, for listening in and hearing everything as far as the thoughts and everybody who's been commenting. Appreciate you guys getting involved with the show as well. I love it that we have people that are consistently on here almost every single show giving us information and news at that point and giving their thoughts as well, because I want this to be an interactive show, guys. So if you guys are listening live and you listen live on a regular basis and you don't comment, listen, we appreciate you watching either way, but I encourage you, get involved, comment along, because I have a feeling that probably there's a few of you out there that are in that exact boat. So get involved. We don't bite, I promise. John does, but he's not actually on the show, so he can't bite you back. Okay.
Plus, it's digital. Like, you're just seeing us. We're not actually in the room with you. And if you're listening, you're just hearing us. We're actually not in the room with you.
Oh, yes.
So we're not going to bite you. So even if I want to bite you, I can't.
We see you there with that peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I'm hiding in the closet.
And that Yingling.
Yeah. Can you make me one of those too? Thanks.
Was that Rob? You're in the closet? Sorry.
Yeah. I'm not in the closet. You're in the closet. I'm in the pantry.
We got a couple more comments here before we end things here. I love it keeps going. Chris, I feel like we should go CB first round. I don't see any of the hood ones or I guess good ones are gonna go to last to pick 57. You know what, Chris? As you look more and more into this draft class, you'll see it's a heavy press cover CB draft, which is crazy because I know the two don't intermingle too much per se necessarily, but we're talking about small receivers like crazy that have trouble against the press, and all the corners coming out are press corners. It's just funny how that worked out, really. But you'll see, we're going to talk about people in the third round even that I'm telling you right now could be our CB2. They could be our CB2. That's how deep a draft this is for press corners. But yeah, there's some great names out there though in the first round too. So like I said, we're going to go over all that stuff for you guys there. As John says, Roberto sounds like GM and we'll take available.
Just like the bunny ranch.
My dad says 5 QBs will be taken before we pick 5. I see where he's going with this. Do you see where he's going? I told you he's a big fan of Hooker from Tennessee. I know it's where he's saying it's the 5th one because you're going to have obviously the first 2 picks go. Levis is going to go. The kid from Florida is going to go. So you're going to have 5. That's got to be the Tennessee quarterback he's talking about. He corrected himself, Chris, afterwards with the good. We're all confused for a second, but yeah, good. We figured it out, Chris. You see me with my typing. I skip words all the time. What was the one you caught me on this time with the notes and the show notes? I said somebody was 22 pounds.
I think you said Mingo was 22 pounds.
22 pounds. 22 pounds, 5 ounces. Yeah. As we got Mingo here from John. My boy, Jonathan Mingo, is going to be better than all these other wide receivers and is going to look like Rod Tillwell and Jerry McGuire and say Jerry Rice, Andrei Reed, Chris Carter, I smoked all these fools. He loves him some Mingo. I'm just saying, John, when the season starts, if Mingo, regardless of who drafts him, doesn't do very well or doesn't produce a lot in the field, you're not going to hear the end of it from us. You know it. So,
what are you going to do if he goes to Philly, man?
Oh, my God. My dad strikes in with Minnesota's looking at Hooker. Yes. I've heard that rumor as well, and they've talked about they won't even do an extension right now with Kirk Cousins, who was last year. I have heard of that rumor as well. So we'll see how much truth there is into that. All righty, guys. So, again, we appreciate everybody listening in. If you guys like the show and you want to support the show, again, the website to support us is buymeacupofcoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Again, buymeacupofcoffee.com/2 giant goofballs. And of course, we are available if you guys are watching us live. We are available Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We're also available on Twitch and LinkedIn. Keep in mind, if you comment on either Facebook or YouTube, that's when we're going to see the comments coming up here. You see all these nice people commenting here all along as we're going along. That's where you go to be able to be alive and have the comments pop up. We can go ahead and see them. Of course, the program is available anytime afterwards on any of those platforms as well, except for Twitch. Twitch, for some reason, does not store the live videos. You have to watch them live to go ahead and be on Twitch. I learned that today. Twitch is weird. I don't know. I'm still learning it. Audio version, of course, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, pretty much every single type of podcast platform you can think of. Some of them I haven't even heard of, but there we are anyway. So actually, we got a couple more comments here. We got Chris with, honestly, Hooker is QB3 in this draft. The injury is the only thing that messed up his draft stock. I'll say this. I'll take him over Levis in a heartbeat. I think he's 4 to me, but I'll take him over Levis in a heartbeat. I'm not a Levis fan. John says, I'll die if he goes to Philly or Cowgirls or Redskins.
They've had 2 names since that.
Yeah. And Denny comes on. That was not even Denny.
That's my
That's your dad. That's your dad. I saw it.
Yeah.
I thought it was the other Denny at first. And we got both dads on here. We're gonna have to plan a
dad off.
No, you know what? It's Father's Day. Father's Day. We're inviting both the dads on for a Father's Day episode.
Perfect.
That'd be fun. We're doing it, whether they want to or not. We'll just call them up randomly, like you're on the show.
You son of a bitch.
Easy enough. So, like I said, they won't know. We'll just start talking football randomly. They won't even know. Again, guys, thank you very much for listening in. Do hit the like, hit that subscribe, hit the bell. The best way to really know we're doing a live show like this is hit the bell on YouTube, hit the like on Facebook. And if you go onto Facebook, go ahead and put that you're interested or going to the events when we do our shows as well, because they come up as events. That's the way to guarantee that you're going to get a notification that you're going to have a show coming on. It's funny. They even give me a notification like, hey, heads up, you guys are recording at 9 o'clock. Like, I didn't know.
I scheduled this.
Oh, we've got a couple more comments here. As John says, Roberto has a daddy. I knew it. Of course he has a daddy. He's not a bastard. Let's see here. We got Chris says, I just pray that Bijan doesn't join our division. I do not want to see him 2 times a year. Listen, the beautiful thing is you only see him for a couple of years if that happens, because he's a running back. He won't play long. I mean, I think the Eagles honestly might take him, but we'll see. I hope not. So again, guys, thank you very much for listening. We know you guys got plenty of options where to go ahead and go all your Giants news from. So very much appreciated that you chose these 2 goofballs here to go ahead and give us that information there. As always, guys, again, we will be on again Friday. We're going to start running down our corners for this draft here, because that's honestly, if I had to put money on it, that's where we're going to go in this draft, unless one of the big name receivers we just talked about drops down further than we think. So keep an eye out there. Well, I'm probably going for obviously Friday. We'll do that probably all of next week as well. I think it's going to take that long to go through all the corners.
Yes.
And then from there, we'll start going to the interior offensive linemen. So we're going to get you guys all ready to go with all the news you need on all the big name guys we could take earlier on. And then the rest of the time, we'll go over some late round guys that we think we might look at, like linebackers, edge guys, those kind of guys. Maybe a punter. I still want a punter. I can't help myself. I want a punter. I hate our punter. I can't help myself. At least I admit it. I have a problem. Oh, God.
I'll go to East Rutherford.
John goes, Mingo. Give it up, John. Mingo, give it up.
Mingo.
So, as always, Giant fans, thank you very much. And
go G-Man!
Go G-Man! G-Man!
Thanks for listening to 2 Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support. If you made it this long, you must have enjoyed it. So I am sure you have followed us on all the social media platforms. Of course, you have subscribed to the show on your favorite app as well and given us a top rating. Right? Right? Right?